Thank you for starting your week with ARIRANG News Break. I'm Handaeun in Seoul. We begin with Ecuador earthquake. The number of people confirmed to have died in the 7.8 magnitude quake now stands at 246, with more than 2,500 injured. Rescue crews have been working round the clock to search for survivors. Kim Mo-kyun has more for us this morning.
Aid is beginning to flow into the worst-hit areas after Saturday's earthquake, the most powerful to hit Ecuador in decades. The death toll has been steadily increasing, now approaching 250. The quake also left at least 2,500 people injured, destroying buildings and impacting cities even hundreds of kilometers away from its epicenter in the north of the country. One family from the municipality of Chimanga lost everything after the earthquake destroyed their home.
I was shopping, my daughter was home, and she was almost trapped, but her husband managed to get her out. Then the house came down, I found it like this. What am I going to do? Cry, that's all. There's nothing left on the street.
Ecuador's risk management agency says 3,500 police officers and 500 firefighters have been dispatched to several towns to help rescue efforts. Shelters have also been set up for those left homeless. The country's vice president, who took charge of recovery efforts as the president was returning from a trip to Italy, said Ecuador was working with other countries to help the survivors.
We are also coordinating international aid. I am very grateful for the solidarity and rapid response of friends. Venezuela, Mexico, Colombia, Peru, Spain, the European Union at this time, as well as others that have committed to provide specialized rescuers in working with the tools and technology and nutrition during this kind of a situation.
Local authorities say more than 130 aftershocks have been detected since Saturday's earthquake, mainly in the Pedernales area. Ecuador has declared a state of emergency in 6 of its provinces. Kim Mo-kyun, ARIRANG News.
Moving over to Japan, another country that sits on the seismically active Ring of Fire, the death toll caused by a series of earthquakes on Kyushu Island has risen to at least 42. Local sources say at least 11 people are still missing, while some 2,000 people were injured, around 200 seriously. Thousands of buildings were damaged in the quakes, and 180,000 people have been spending a third night in temporary shelters, including cars and tents. More than 60,000 homes remain without electricity, and 300,000 have no water. A 7.3 magnitude earthquake struck near the city of Kumamoto a day after a 6.4 magnitude quake hit the city on Thursday. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe says the number of troops helping in the rescue effort had risen to 25,000, and the U.S. military would provide air transportation. The world's biggest oil exporting states have failed to agree to freeze production. Saudi Arabia wants a cap to try to boost prices, but Iran, which pulled out of the meeting last minute, won't agree. The group's failure to strike a deal in Qatar sent oil prices nosediving again. Kim Min-ji has the details.
No agreement. Officials from 18 oil-exporting nations comprised of both OPEC and non-OPEC members met in Qatar in the hope of inking a deal that would put a ceiling on oil production at January levels. Casting a cloud over the outcome, Iran refused to join the talks at the last minute. Tehran maintains that it would boost production to levels seen post-sanctions. Adding to woes, Saudi Arabia, the world's largest oil exporter, was only willing to freeze output if all major producers agreed to do so, including Iran. Qatar's oil minister said that the group needed more time before an agreement could be reached.
The meeting concluded that we all need time for further consultation, and from now till June meeting in OPEC, all participating countries will consult among themselves and with others.
On the news, West Texas Intermediate shed more than 6%, falling below $40 a barrel. Global oil prices have plunged over 70% over the past 20 months, driven by near-record production from OPEC and other producers. But many analysts say that the move to freeze, not cut production will make little difference to the ongoing supply-demand imbalance. Kim Min-ji, ARIRANG News.
The floor leaders of Korea's three main political parties will meet this morning for the first time since last week's general election. The meeting was organized by National Assembly Speaker Chung Eui-hwa to discuss the possibility of convening the last extraordinary session of the 19th Assembly that'll end its term at the end of May. If agreed, the May session will focus on passing as many as non-contentious bills as possible. However, the ruling Saenuri Party, which lost its parliamentary majority, is still aiming to push through bills related to labor reform and service industry promotion. The main opposition Minju Party of Korea is adamant that it will not allow their passage, saying the election results show the public has rejected the issues. Given the political wrangling between the two main parties, the role of the centrist People's Party is garnering attention. Watchers are keen to see if the party, which won 38 seats in the 20th Assembly, will support the ruling or the main opposition party. North Korea is capable of fitting nuclear warheads on top of its short-range Scud and medium-range Dodong missiles. That's according to head of the Korea Institute for National Unification, Choi Jin-wook. In an interview with Seoul-based Yonhap News Agency on Monday, he also said the U.S. believes North Korea will develop an intercontinental ballistic missile that could target Washington by 2020. North Korea has been vocal about its missile technology advancements in recent weeks, claiming last month that it had successfully developed rocket re-entry technology for an ICBM. North Korea attempted to fire what is believed to have been an intermediate-range Musudan missile last Friday, but Seoul and Washington say the test was a failure. And that does it for now. Keep it tuned to Arirang for more domestic and international news coming up at noon.